Hello and welcome to the Collapse Experiment, and today I'm going to be talking about one of the books that I have read this year, which left me quite disturbed. Cormac McCarthy, Child of God. Now, I've been hearing a lot about Cormac McCarthy lately. The only book previously that I could say I was very familiar with when it came to this author was The Road. And I read the book long before the movie had come out, so it wasn't like backtracking to see what the movie was based on. It was, I read the book, the movie came out, I became interested in the author, and due to Right Conscious YouTube channel, I've become interested again in Cormac McCarthy. So, I tried to find an audiobook that I could get into that was on Hoopla. And if you don't know about Hoopla, go to your local library because I almost can guarantee that they probably have audiobooks and other digital material available to you for your tax dollars. So go check out Hoopla. Not sponsored at all, just I'm a cheap bastard and I enjoy sharing my cheapness with others. But Child of God was one of the audiobooks that they had. I did have this physical copy. And there were times where I would hear something in the audiobook and I would go home and I would get this out. I'm like, yeah, it does say that. So you had this main character who is a child of God. But like a lot of McCarthy's characters, this guy is just a walking pile of trash. And he is a narcissist to the extreme, and to the point where halfway through the book, he discovers that he can kill people, especially women, and then before they fully decompose, enjoy their company. Yeah, it goes there. So it goes as far as at one point he goes to the local store, and this takes place, I want to say, in like the 50s, maybe the 30s. I'm not exactly sure what the time period is, but it was relatively long time ago. 80 to 100 years ago is when this book takes place. And so this guy goes to the store and he's asking to buy a dress for this girl that he had just murdered, but he wants to dress her up to have a nice weekend with her. I'm telling you, the book is pretty, like, I don't know how he came up with this, but that's just one of the stories of him doing things like this. And even like the lead up to it, because the book is in two parts. And the first half of the book is just learning who this character is and what a complete piece of garbage this guy is. But then he also has this weird mental not philosophy, like his own morality. Like, he doesn't like to be cheated, but at the same time he's also a piece of garbage. It kind of reminds me of No Country for Old Men. Like, when the killer in the story is flipping a coin and he's like heads or tails and he has to know the result, they have to dictate their own fate without knowing it, and he can't go through or finish what is happening at the time unless he knows it's kind of like that. So it's a very violent book, and and even the ending itself, which I felt like, I don't know if if McCarthy was trying to create some type of sense of justice in the end for what happens to the main character. But I also feel like everything that happens to him, he's not really around to have it happen to him, right? I don't want to ruin the ending, but there's things that happen to the killer that seem like they're absolutely horrible, but at the same time, he's not there to experience it either. It's horribly stupid. It's basically like, it's the idea of you don't like somebody and you tell them, when you're gone, I'm going to shit on your grave. Does it matter at that point? It makes you feel good, but the other person that you're allegedly doing this to, it doesn't really freaking matter because they're not experiencing it. They don't care. They're no longer around. It's kind of like that attitude of like, I'm going to piss on your grave. Which, if you read the first half of the book, it doesn't really matter. The guy is not going to give a shit. So this book, it's definitely entertaining. I can give it that much. But even the description, falsely accused of rape, Lester Ballard, a violent and dispossessed man who haunts the hill country of East Tennessee, is released from jail and allowed to roam at will. That's where we come into this. And they do kind of argue that it's like a he said, she said type situation, but, and you don't know if like the accusation itself is what led this guy to live the life that he does in the book. It's like, well, I'm already accused of it, I should just go ahead and do it. But at the same time, he puts himself in these situations where he's basically trying to do the things that he alleges he never did. But at the same time, he also makes them so much worse. So it starts out describing it as falsely accused, which is really just his explanation. But this is the description McCarthy wrote. Was the guy falsely accused? I don't know. Preying on the population with his strange lust. Yeah. His everyday actions are transformed into stunning scenes of the comic and grotesque. Comic. You'd have to have that kind of sense of humor, I guess. It's like if you were watching Hostel, the movie Hostel, and you found yourself laughing at certain scenes, you might find this funny. Also, don't comment on this video because I don't want to know you. And as the story hurtles towards its unforgettable conclusion, McCarthy depicts the most sordid aspects of life with dignity, humor, and characteristic lyrical brilliance. Obviously, I think somebody else must have written this description of the book for him because I don't feel like they really took in the story. I think they're just trying to sell the book because that is their job. Keep in mind, this book was also written in 1973. So yeah. Anyways, do I recommend this? Don't start here. This doesn't make me want to read any more Cormac McCarthy. I enjoyed The Road. I liked No Country for Old Men. Even though every character in the book, except for the wife, were absolutely horrible. And This is no exception, except it takes it to the extreme, and this is your protagonist, is a god-awful human being who has no redeeming characteristics whatsoever. So I wouldn't start here. I will end up eventually reading more Cormac McCarthy. I do have more. I've got some other audiobooks lined up that I can listen to, and other books of his on the shelf. But yeah, it's a quick read. If you've read other Cormac McCarthy, you will probably be surprised with this one. And I'll just say, don't start here. This is not a good beginning for anyone. Was it written well? The dialogue was entertaining, I will say that. The dialogue was definitely kept your attention. How the characters came through with the conversations had in the book, it really did show like who these people were with the conversations. And good God, it just... So that's about it for Child of God. If you enjoyed this video, please let me know in the comment section, like and subscribe. And in the meantime, keep on typing.